There is only one way to avoid criticism: do nothing, say nothing, and be nothing. That quote, it has been sitting with me all day, and it's credited to Albert Hubbard, and it's often attributed to Aristotle. And the reason that that quote hits me is because it is true. Because the moment that you start showing up, the moment that you start speaking, the moment that you start saying what you really think, you're going to meet criticism, no doubt. And it's not because that you're wrong, but it's just because you're visible. So today, I want to talk about criticism. I want to talk about identity and what it feels like when people try to rewrite your own story for you. So here's basically what happened. I posted something honest the other day about my experience as a Haitian woman living in America. And it was especially about how, when I first moved here, I did not fully understand what racism looked like in the United States. And before somebody twists that, let me explain. That doesn't mean racism did not exist. It doesn't mean that I was naive. It just means that I grew up Haitian. Because when you grow up in Haiti, you grow up with a different history being emphasized, the history of your colonizers. You're not raised the same way that Black Americans are raised, with racism explained to you from childhood in the same direct, lived way that comes from generations of experience here. So I'm sharing my truth, and the comments, when I shared that video, they're split in two groups. You have one group that was like, thank you for saying this. This is real. I relate to it. And then you have the other group that was like, let me correct you. Let me tell you what your story means. Let me humble you. And that's the group that I want to talk about today. Oh my goodness. Because there was one man in particular, of course, mansplaining you. I deleted his comment, and he came back, and his whole angle was basically, oh, so you just find out that you're not white. Now listen, of course I blocked him. When I read that comment, I had two reactions at the same time. My first reaction, I laughed because it was absolutely ridiculous. And my second reaction, I got a little irritated because it wasn't just a comment, it was the kind of comment that tries to reduce you. Like, I'm some kind of confused person who needed him to explain my own identity to me. So let me be very clear. I am a proud, beautiful, intelligent, Black Haitian American woman. Okay? And there is not a single day of my life where I've ever been confused about that. So this was not about confusion. This was someone who was being bothered that I said something out loud that they wanted me to keep quiet. And here's what I learned. When you share anything honest online, especially as a Black woman, you usually meet two kinds of critiques. The type number one, the minimizers. These people, they try to make your experience feel extremely small, and they will say things like, oh, that's not racism. That happens to everybody. Oh, you're being too sensitive. Why do you always have to make it about race? They don't want to hear what happened. They just want to reduce it so they don't have to sit with it. And then there's the type number two, the identity police. This group, they try to come for how you speak, how you show up, how you exist. And that's where, wait for it, you sound white. Comments come in, and they'll say things like, why do you talk like that? Who are you trying to be? Oh, I see. You're trying to assimilate. Uh, you don't sound Haitian at all. And that one is personal because it's not about a topic anymore. It's entirely about you. So let me talk about the language piece for a minute. Okay? We're going to do a little Haitian history. I grew up in Haiti speaking Haitian Creole from birth. So Creole, it's my home. That's my heart. That's what most of us speak every single day. I also grew up speaking French because French is the official language. So once you start going to school, that's the language, your books, everything are in French. So early on as a kid, in kindergarten, you're bilingual. You're speaking Creole at home every day with your parents, but all your books, everything that you're learning, numbers, everything, they're in French. So French, it's tied to school, it's tied to system, it's tied to history. It's a complicated story. And yes, colonization is all up in there. But there's something a lot of people don't realize, and I need you to hear this. Even though I spoke Creole my entire life, I didn't start learning how to write Haitian Creole until I was almost done with high school. Think about that for a second. Imagine speaking a language every single day. It's how you love, it's how you laugh, it's how you argue, it's how you pray. But you're not fully taught how to write it until you're basically grown, because that's when it became an official language. That's when it had a grammar. That does something to you. And it teaches you quietly that one language is official and the other is just for whom. It teaches you that certain parts of you belong in public and certain parts of you should be private. So when I come to America and people start acting like, why do you speak English like that? I'm like, because I learned it. And I learned it the way a lot of immigrants learn it. Okay, so French is the official language, but we had to learn English. I learned English and Spanish and Latin at school. So through school, we learned English. It was through repetition, it was through the media, and it was through a lot of practice. And I remember one of the ways that I practiced English a lot was through cartoons, TVs, and movies. And guess what was playing on TV? What was playing on TV were Little House on the Prairie. You get the gist of it, right? So when you're practicing how these people speak English in the movies. And here's the thing, some people judge you. Some people judge you for having an accent, and other people judge you for not having the accent that they expected you to have. And that tells me that this is not really about the accent. It's about people needing you to fit into a box so that they can feel comfortable themselves. Well, I'm not doing that anymore. And I'm going to be honest. There was a time when comments like that, they made me shrink myself. And it was not because I was ashamed, but it was because I didn't feel like explaining myself over and over and over again. It was actually very exhausting because comments like that, it's not just one comment. It's years of little moments like that. The look that someone gives you when you speak, the, oh, you're so articulate comment that sounds like a compliment, but it doesn't feel like one. The way that people assume that you're different before you even finish your sentence. At some point, I realized that if I keep adjusting myself to be accepted, I'm just going to lose myself completely. And I did. And I did for a while. So I made a decision that I will not change my voice to make people comfortable anymore. Because if the way I speak bothers you, then you're just not my audience. And I'm okay with that. I say that calmly now, but it took me a long time to get there. And I'm also very proud of myself for that. So there was something else that happened that helped me. I used to follow this influencer, and very confident young lady. And but she used to go live on she used to go live a lot. I forgot the platform. That platform is not there anymore, but she used to go live on that platform a lot. And oh my goodness, some of the comments in there, they were just dragging her every day in those comments. And I remember we kept asking her, why don't you just block those comments or have somebody, an assistant on the live call to block them? And I remember something that she said that was an aha moment for me. She said, I'm focused on the people I'm helping. Now, I'm not telling everybody to leave hate comments up because I believe that you have to protect your peace. I believe that you are entitled to block whoever you need to block. But the mindset shift that I took from observing that influencer is that if you stay focused on critics, you will start creating for critics. And honestly, this is the fastest way to lose your voice. So now when someone shows up to misunderstand me on purpose, I do not spiral. Okay? I remind myself that my job is not to be liked by everybody. My job is to be clear for the people who came to hear me. The people that I can inspire, the people that I can uplift, the people that I can encourage, the people that I can have an impact on. And this is where my bigger vision comes from. Because I've spent years feeling like I'm too Haitian for one room. I'm not Haitian enough for another. I'm too Black for one room. I'm too different for another. I'm too outspoken. I'm too educated. I'm too whatever. And you know something else? There is never a shortage of critics. Never. So why embrace it? Why help them do the job? Because they're going to do it anyway. Zig Ziglar used to say that, It's like they're already doing the job. You don't need to help them. So I got tired of trying to fit in spaces that were never designed to hold me. So I decided that if I can't find a room, I'll just build one. And that's why I've been thinking about creating a podcast called Room Not Built for Us. Because I know that I am not the only beautiful Black woman who has felt like a guest in every space that she enters. And I want to create a space where you don't have to audition to belong. You don't. So let me end with this quote by one of my favorite authors, Zig Ziglar. Because that quote is true. It's not just cute. He used to say, don't be distracted by criticism. Remember, the only taste of success some people have is when they take a bite out of you. Some people, they don't know how to build. So they will criticize everything. Some people don't know how to create. So they'll correct everything. You know, some people, they don't know how to lead. You know what they do? They choose to nitpick. But I'm not here to live my life trying to be uncriticizable either. Is that a word? I hope that it is. Okay. Because the only way to do that is to do nothing, say nothing, and be nothing. And I'm not doing that either. So I'm going to end this with a question for you. Have you ever been judged for how you speak, for where you're from, for your accent, for your identity? And what did that teach you about yourself? Drop the answer in the comment because I read all of them. With that, my name is Webley, and I am on a consistency journey to post every day on YouTube for 100 days / 365 days, really. If you like what you hear, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you tomorrow for day 28. Bye.